Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, Messenger of the Covenant, Breaker of the Seven Seals. Welcome. Brothers and sisters, this will be a very, very short presentation, very short. Just a follow-up on what I did earlier today, November 2nd, 2022, about affirmative action. I thought about it and I said, well, it's important that you really understand how they fight in the thought atmosphere. I mean, they can't win because high pressure destroys low pressure. And high pressure is a greater truth, because that's what truth is. Truth is mathematics. A greater mathematics defeats a lesser mathematics. Look at it that way. A greater mathematics defeats a lesser mathematics. So a person can tell the truth, but a greater truth will destroy that truth. Like you can say, oh, it's going to be bad weather. That's the truth. But if you say it's going to be a hurricane, right, on Friday, right, that's truth too. It's a greater truth. And which one is people going to pay attention to? That one, because that's more specific, that's actionable. We don't understand why truth works, because the sealed Bible is truth from a certain perspective. It gave them power and empowered our enemies. But once you unsealed it, right, a greater truth emerges from that lesser truth, which defeats the lesser truth. We understand these things, brothers and sisters. When I say greater pressure, what is pressure? Truth is pressure. But everything is mathematics. So no matter what they say, it's still mathematics. They come out of a person's, it's still mathematics. So, well, they tell lies. Well, if they're a liar by nature, that's what they're going to tell. That's mathematical. But if they're a liar by nature, does that mean they're outside of mathematics? No. Because we know the devils, they're inside of mathematics. They're on a lower level of mathematics. They gave them more energy to do things because they were less complex. They say weren't. They were, they was outside math. They was lower. So their truths would be lower. Those would be truths to them. By calling us ham and all that kind of stuff, that was truth to them. And from a certain perspective, they were right about that from a certain perspective. Because we were cursed from a certain perspective, not cursed by God, cursed by them. I hope it's not too difficult to explain this to you, brothers and sisters, because everything is truth. Okay? You have to understand what perspective it's coming from. I mean, shit is good for some life forms. Flies don't think shit is bad, but you wouldn't touch it. So shit is not truth. To them, it's maybe delicious. Everything. Okay, say for instance, you say 5 plus 3 equals 9. Okay? That's not truth. No, it's not truth. Okay? But on the other side of the equation, that's why you have consequence, right? To balance it. Okay? So from that person, but it's still, I don't think I'm going to confuse people here. Because when they tell a lie, yeah. But when you look at the whole context, right? Okay, let me say it this way. We suffer energy deprivation, beating us. Okay, put it another way. You go out, everybody gets $1,000 a day, but you take $300 from somebody. Now you got $1,300. Now you got 300 users of negative energy. So somebody come and bust you in your head, and now you got a $300 bill. That was wrong, wasn't it? That was evil, wasn't it? Was it? Right? From your point of view, but that was the balance. It balanced out. So it wasn't an evil act. It was a justified act to justify the balance. I don't like to go in this kind of territory because some people just ain't ready for it. Because the Quran says, everything Allah made is perfect, so how can you have imperfection if everything is perfect? Right? If someone tells a lie, right? There's a consequence to balance it back out. Right? So you have a person here that's incapable of realizing that 5 plus 3 is 8. Right? And you got another person over here, right? That person says 5 plus 3 is 9. Okay. What did nature do? Universe will say, this place say 5 plus 3 is 9. Right? So it's 9. It's really 8, 9. But now you got another person here saying 5 plus 3 is 7. See? And together, see, they balance. So when you had a male and a female, that's probably a better connection right there. Because the male, he sees things 180 degrees. And that's not the truth. Because 360 degrees is that's not the truth. He's seeing 180 degrees. That's not the truth. He needs 180 degrees. She has half truth. He has half truth together. They got the whole truth. So is he a liar? Is she a liar? Do you understand, brothers and sisters? You have to really understand how math works, how this whole thing works. Because he only sees 180. And to him, that's the truth. And it's not. Because the universe is 360. And she sees 180. And now they're arguing about that. It shouldn't be, because when they combine their perspectives, I'm looking at the house from this side, you look at the house from that side. I swear the house is green because my side is green. I swear it's red. You swear it's red because your side is red. Right? Is she right or he right? No. Both of them are wrong. But when you say, oh, it's red over there? Okay. House is red and green. Oh, it's green. House is green. Now you got the whole thing. But if he sees it from his perspective only, he's always going to be wrong. And she always going to be wrong. But when they join together, 360 degrees. That's what I'm trying to say, brothers and sisters. Right? See, so the devils, right? They distorted math, and we got to correct the math. That's why we're together. That's why we're together here. And you might not see it like that, but that's why we're together here. Because we would be together if it didn't balance. Because I keep telling you, there's a personification of our energy deprivation. That means if there's a personification of our energy deprivation, right? That means if we 10, if we're 100, but we should be 150, we need 150, right? But when we got 100, you understand? But we need 150, well, there's a negative 50 that balance it out. Because if we need 150, we still going to take 150. So we're going to be taking more than we're supposed to take. And they're going to be take it from us. let me say this. I don't think I've ever explained this like this before. I want to get to it because I said we'll keep a short presentation. I'm going to spend a whole lot of time on this. I always say we suffer in deprivation because we need 150, but we only get 100. So in deprivation. But I didn't never really explain this part, right? Because if you need 150 and you only get 100, what that's going to make you do? That's going to make you go and take the other 50 because that's what you need. Your body needs it. So you're going to take more. See, I never explained from that point of view. You still take more than you're supposed to. So you create negative energy for yourself because you're going to take more. You're going to take more other people and everything else. So now you look at a thief and everything else because your body needs that. So if you're hungry, starving, you're going to take, you're going to go steal from anybody else. That's why Prophet Muhammad, during this time when he had this big famine or whatever, right? He told people he relaxed the rule about stealing and all that kind of stuff because he knew people going, what else are you going to do? You hungry? We're going to cut everybody's hand off? So you're going to still take 150. That's what causes your problem. Because when we suffer in deprivation, when we need 1,000 and we was only getting 500, if we would settle with that, we would never been over here in our heart. We never been over here in our cause. We never been over here. We've been over in Africa starving. Just sit there and just, okay, I ain't going to have no family. I'm going to sit out here in the jungle with nothing. I'm just going to wait 500 years, sit out here with nothing. I'm going to go hungry. I'm going to go thirsty. I'm going to go without company. I'm going to go without family. You understand what I'm saying? Then you just could have did that because now you only use what you're getting. You only use what you're getting. But you say, no, I still want family, right? I still want to eat enough food. I still want, right? So therefore now you got the negative energy. Here comes the devil. Take it away from you. You understand, brothers and sisters? That's another way. I really didn't want to say it that way, but that's the fact. That's what happens. Because it really, when I say personification of our deprivation, I'm actually saying that. Right? But it's hard for me to, something I just don't say because I think it's confusing to people that have some background information. Plus, a lot of people don't believe they don't believe in that fact that everybody receives center energy. They don't believe it. They're like, oh, look at Donald Trump, see? Because they're confused, they don't understand. And I'm not going to waste time trying to explain every little, I explain how adding works, right? 5 plus 5 is 10, 3 plus 7 is 10, 2 plus 9 is 11. And now I got to keep on, how much is 11 plus 11? How much is 100 plus 3? I got to keep doing that the rest of my life? No, you got the process, you figure it out. Once you learn the process, that's up to you to figure the rest of it out. That's what people want. They keep finding, oh, what about that case? What about that case? Well, you figure out what about that case. I told you the principle. And if you don't believe the principle, then heck with it, leave it alone. I told you the principle. Everybody has the same energy. You don't believe it? Then go and believe in the way whatever you think. Because I know I'm right, mathematically right. But if you think, then do your thing. I'm not going to argue with you about it. I told you the principle. Everybody has the same energy, period. It's how they manage it. And the ratio between their requirements, right, and what they have. Those have less requirements. So they have disposable income, so to speak. We have greater requirement, so we have no disposable income at this point in time. So I'll leave it there on that, brothers and sisters. How did I get on this track? Where I even got here. Let me think about that for a minute before I move on. Well, let me move on. Maybe I'll catch up to me. Because what I want to talk about is this affirmative action thing. And the thing is, I want to add to it because I want to give an example. Because what they do is they're using, they're in the thought atmosphere, but I think I got it from that point of view, but they're weak in it. and their lower, that's why I was talking about truth and things like that, right? And they have their truth, because that truth, to them, that's the truth for them. See? But it's not, it has to have, right? In other words, it's not 360 degrees. So you have the other, so if they come out with some truth that's only 30 degrees, then, right, it has to be 330 degrees to correct it. Right? And you see what I'm saying? So the thing is that everything is truth. Because there's no error in this universe, there's no error in mathematics. So what you call a lie, right, is just a weaker perspective or a less than 360 degree perspective, right? And then as the consequence come, the rest of the degrees are balanced back out. Consequence keep it all perfect. See, but they was made, so if they was made to distort mathematics, which you would call distort, then that's their nature. So for whatever they distort, they're doing the right thing. Like I say, Farrakhan, he's doing the right thing. He's a good demon. He's the best demon there is because he's doing all the demons to him. So you guys say, oh, I can lie and steal. Yeah, you can lie and steal all you want to. But it better be 360 degrees. You're going to have a corrective force. Right? That's going to correct it. And that's what's happening now. Because when they go out and tell this stuff in the little BS in the thought atmosphere, with that crap they talk about, right? That's low pressure truth. It's not 360 degrees. Look at it that way. Look at it from that point of view, right? And so I come along, hit it with 360 degrees, I demolish it. I demolish what they're saying because it's not 360 degrees. Look at truth from that point of view. See, if they come out with something that's less than 360 degrees, I come out that would defeat it, that makes it 360 degrees. That's another way of saying higher pressure. It has to be 360 degrees, brothers and sisters. That's the way our universe works. See? The male, that's what the male and female are equal. When they tell you they're not equal, then you mean we got more degrees than they have? They got 360, they got 180, we got 180. Put together, we got 360. So if you're on 180, then the 180 you don't see is going to get you. That's one of the reasons why we can only see 180 degrees. Otherwise, we'd have eyes in the back of our head. So we see 360 degrees. But if you stand back to back with a female, right, now she see 360, she see 180, you see 180. If you agree with each other, now you got 360. But if you're going to oppose each other, then you walk around all your life for 180 degrees, which means you'll be stumbling over everything else because you're not going to survive in life in a very productive way because you always got 180 degrees blind. You blind 180 degrees and 180 degrees be kicking your ass. I think I said enough on that one, bro, since I'm not sure if I confused anybody. But you got to reconcile it. If it's allow me everything perfect, then you got to say, well, where did a lie come from then? Because your interpretation of a lie is not realistic. You've been taught something wrong. Your interpretation of a lie is just low pressure. But the time when the absolute truth is the highest pressure there is. And the absolute of a higher pressure is like the sealed Bible, there was a higher pressure at that time. Then the Quran came was a higher pressure, a greater truth. The angel called it a greater truth. Truth in all of them. That's why the angel is complete. Why? Because it completes the whole that 50,000 year energy deprivation situation, and now we're going to the new world. So it completes the whole circle. Because the crown had parted so many degrees, the seal bob has so many degrees, but the angel has 360. So it wipes all the stuff out. Crushes all the stuff. It finishes out, it rounds out. That's why it's 22 chapters divided by 7 seals. I didn't mean to go into the book. A lot of times I don't want to go into it because, like I said, I think it confuses people. I mean, you can really get this deep as you want to. Study. Get your mind stronger. So it's a greater truth. Why the angel says, in Genesis says, a light and a greater light. A light and greater. What's wrong with the lesser light? Something wrong with the lesser light? It calls the crown the lesser light. And the Bible, what's wrong with that? Because it's brighter. But a brighter light puts out a lesser light, don't it? Higher pressure. But that don't mean something wrong with the lesser light. It's just when a light, bright light comes, you don't see lesser light anymore. Same with truth. The truth they had was a lesser light. It gave this the way understanding you got from the scripture. This is the way it explained the scripture. But then the angel comes with a greater light. Now it puts out the other lights. You can look at it from that point of view. Same pressure. So they're out there, their little lesser lights. And those, and they thought myself talking this bullshit like this guy, Tucker, and all that stuff I gave in the presentation. Those lesser lights. And then the angel comes with a brighter light. It says he will come with 7 times the brightness of the sun. His light will be so bright. See? And that light is spreading. It's lighting up the atmosphere. It's lighting up people's minds. You don't see it, but it's happening because you see the world is changing. Why is it changing? And who's in favor is it changing to? It's changing in your favor. It's changing against them. They complain everything is wrong. Whole society is. Why is that happening? Why is everything failing? The economy, their religion, their military, right? Everything is failing. Why? Why is the leaves shaking? Because there's wind blowing that you can't see. So something is blowing up their reality or crushing it, however you want to look at it. And if it's their minds that are affected, that means there's a greater mind on the scene. If their mind is being corrupted, you know their mind is being corrupted because they can't tell you what a woman is. They can't tell you a difference between a man and a woman anymore. Drag queens, transgender confusion, a man could get pregnant, also because their mind is being, what's happening to your minds? Who's doing it? That means there's a greater mind on the scene that's crushing their minds. Brothers and sisters, some of these things you should understand by now. That's how you know. How you know the wind is blowing. You see the sheaves. You don't see the wind, but you see the leaves shaking. So how you know it's a greater mind on the scene? Because their minds are getting crushed. Their minds are going crazy. They're saying stuff don't make any sense. And some of you going along because you don't make any sense because your mind being crushed right along with it. So therefore that makes sense to you too. The shit they saying makes sense to you too because your mind's being crushed right along with it because you fall into that American dream stuff, all that crap they tell you falling for it. And so you suffer from mental energy deprivation because you not taking that energy that you have to develop yourself. Using it, to distract you. And so your mind's weak. So now that stuff makes sense to you too. Anyway, I'll move on, bro, since I didn't mean to go on. I'll move on quickly, because I just want to show 2 graphs here, bro, since there were 3 I actually think. The beast friends. I told you what a beast friend is, right? A beast friend is a beast that would tend to be your best friend. Demons, they're beast friends. Democratic Party, beast friends. See? And so they look like they're helping you, but they ain't. See? They tend to helping you, and you think they're helping you. And so I'm going to give you an example here, because this was a perfect example. That's why I said I'm going to follow up and on this one and give you some more information on it. Now, see this right here? It's my affirmative action. Now, watch, see how that language is? See, this is what tricks they use. They compare two things that have no comparison whatsoever. And they make the argue on that. And you know that if they was really your friends, they were really best friends rather than beast friends, they could easily to win the argument for your case easily. But they ain't arguing. See, they got the gun on the wolf's head, right on his head, right between his eyes. Well, I got to put trigger, they don't pull it. They all kind of excuses. Well, I'll get tomorrow, man. I got them under control, right? Or the triggers, the gun jammed, or my finger, whatever. But they just blow his brains out in a situation. And I'm going to show you. Now, see here. This is what affirmative action. Now, I'm not for affirmative action and kind of stuff. I'm just showing you an argument. See, this was affirmative action was trying to resolve. Because what was happening is that only they was letting the devils go into the colleges. And so they came out of the college and they went into industry. See, while everybody else was left walking out on the sidewalk. See? That's what, so affirmative action says, because remember, you got to go in there. Once you get in there, you still got to complete the course. You got to complete the course and you get in. You got to go, you got to study, you got to take tests, you got to examine everything else. So you have to perform, then you can move on to the next level. But you get in, you got to perform. But see, the way they had before, they wouldn't even let you in there to perform. Because once you get in there, if you didn't perform, you just push back out. You had to perform. See? You had to meet the criteria. Affirmative action had nothing to do with it once you got in there. It got you in the door. See, they didn't want you in the door. They didn't want you, they didn't have to compete against you once you got in there. They didn't want you to get in to perform. They didn't even want you in there. See? Because once you got in, you had to perform, you had to meet the criteria, you had to, okay, now watch this. Hope you understand that, brothers and sisters. See? And see, now, for back said, okay, let them get in there. Let some black people get in there in the school. So they got in there. They performed. They went in industry too. They had to perform. They got their degree. They had to perform. And once you went in, you had to perform. When you perform, then, right, you can move on to the next level, move to your corporate America, whatever. But you had to, in the school, performance, affirmative action did not have anything to do once you got in that door. It didn't add any points to your test. It didn't say, well, if you didn't qualify a degree, you still get it. You still meet the criteria. You had to take all the tests, all the exams, everything you had to do to get that degree, you had to do once you were in there. Same as everybody else. Same as everybody else. They didn't want you in there to perform. So it says, get everybody in the form. Now, this is a trick they use. Now, they want to compare this to the NFL and NBA. See, we'll try affirmative action, NFL and NBA, and see how that works. That's a bogus argument. It has no comparison. But see, it sounds, oh yeah, we'll try that. Because nobody, if we did that, man, it would be no good ball players because they'd only take white people. See, and so they'd have inferior players. Because remember, in this process here, there was no dropping of criteria, no dropping of performance criteria or anything. Once you had to pass all the tests. If you had, I guess maybe have maybe a 90 percentile something there to get your degree or something, right? But you had to pass those tests and everything else, or you did not get that degree, or you're not qualified. That's in there. Affirmative action stopped at the door. It had nothing to do with you went in there. But look at this NFL and NBA situation, where I tell you it's totally bogus. And this is why I'm pointing out the brothers, because I'm telling you, see, I know all their tricks. And they pull on you all the time, and most of you pay attention to it because you've been bombarded in the thought atmosphere every day on a low level, but it works on you because your mind's on a low level. So therefore, their truths are greater than your truth. That's why you wear a cross around your neck and you pray into white Jesus and all this kind of stuff, because they keep your mind on low level. So they're greater. Their truth is greater than your truth. Even though their truth is only 33 degrees, well, yours is only 10 degrees. So there's 23 degrees higher than yours, 20 degrees more pressure than yours. You have to get yours up. So see here, notice the difference here. Anybody can go in. Anybody can go in the NFL, NBA. Everybody can go. There's no limit. You go. The thing is, once you get it, you got to perform. That's a whole different thing. They didn't stop anybody getting in there. You had to perform to stay in there. It was about performance. See, there was no discrimination, white, green, anything. You go in here, you get in here, right? But you had to perform. Then you said, okay, I'm only going to let 5 people try out. Right? I'm only going to let 5 people or 10, only white people or black people. No, everybody try out. But your performance is what keeps you in here. Your performance is what keeps you in here. So black people perform better than white people. That's why it's more of them in there. That's meritocracy. They don't mention it that way. They try to make like, so what if we just let the white people go in the NFL? That's not what's happening there. If you did that, and you used to do that, when you had your white leagues, when the first Dodgers, when you had Babe Ruth and all those guys, right? Before Richard Combs came along, what was his name? Jackie Robinson? Jackie Robinson, boy. You only had all whites in there. You had affirmative action for white people. See? You're excluding everybody else out. It was reversed. But you try to make a thing the same thing. That's the same thing. It's a whole different issue. See? In other words, you didn't allow anybody to perform. You didn't give anybody a chance to perform. In the NFL, NBA, everybody gets a chance to perform. And only the best can continue. Everybody got a chance to perform. In your college, everybody didn't get a chance to perform. Only white people got a chance to perform. You wouldn't let black folks in there to perform. That's the difference. But they ain't saying it like that. And it sounds like they got a good argument. And the point is, because you don't pay attention, listen. And then the thing is, how come these people in the Democratic Party, how come they can't say it? Because this is very clear. This is very clear. This is not calculus. It's not vector analysis. It's not trigonometry. This is very clear. It's A, B, 1 plus 2 equals 3, 1 plus 2 equals 3 stuff. So why argue? Because they're beast friends. Because they don't want you in here either. But they don't want to tell you that. But they argue that would guarantee that you would be in here. When they could pull a gun, when they got the wolf, the gun right at the cock at the wolf's head, they just blow it off. They got all kinds of reasons why they ain't gonna do it right now. Same thing. All they gotta do is say, hey, this ain't about giving anybody a leg up or anything. Anybody, that ain't what affirmative action is. If you ain't give nobody a leg up, you just give them an opportunity to perform. That's all you do, an opportunity to perform. You ain't giving anybody a leg up. Or help helping hand. You get an opportunity to perform. Because if they can't perform, they can't get that degree, they can't get to a college. That's what it's all about. But that's why they're saying, oh, you give white, black folks helping hand. And these people, they're more qualified, See, the people in India more qualified, the Caucasians more qualified, the Japanese, everybody more qualified than the niggers. See? They're not getting a hand up, because when they get in, they still got to qualify. Just like in the NFL, you get in there, I don't care who you are. Once you get in there, you better be able to perform. You better be able to tackle or guard, or whatever the hell they ask you to do. You better be able to do it, shoot, whatever. Because if you can't perform, then you're out of there. It don't matter whether you're green, orange, black, or yellow. That's not what's happening with affirmative action. They wouldn't allow you to even get into school. Because they do it ever since we've been here in this country. They've been giving affirmative action to white people, and they kept you out because they were afraid to compete with you. Because they know when they compete with you, they always lost. They kept black folks out of golf. Who's kicking their ass in golf? They kept them out of tennis. Who kicking their ass? These are demons, but they're blackface. But still, they had enough black. They only had a little bit of blackness in them. On the wrong side, they still was kicking their ass. Every time you open the door, they give you a little hint, that hidden figures. I'm surprised they didn't admit that. Every time they open the door, see, that's why they don't want affirmative action. That's what they want to get rid of. So they can say, no, you can't, because they're going to make sure you could never get to the door to begin with. See, because you go to these stupid schools, I've seen these schools, look, I taught myself. Because, I grew up in the hood in Newark, but I was always studious. I was always studying. So I got a lot of fights because everybody want to hear that crap. They didn't want to hear about girls and stuff. I want to talk about nuclear physics and stuff, right? But when I went to high school, I went to Weequahic High School. It had been all the Jewish schools, the same school Jerry Lewis went to, right? And they didn't like niggas up in there. And they ignored me. I couldn't. And I'm looking around, I raised my hand that way, because they only had blacks up there. This was like in 64. Yeah, 64. They didn't want us up in there. Even though I found I was voted one of the most liked to see, because I was such a good student in elementary school. I was top of my class. I was top of my class. Not the top, I was the top. Even though for behavior side, they said I was the worst kid I ever had. But on the academic side, I was the best. And let me speak on that for a minute. I'm gonna get back to that, because I'm gonna talk this little handout, so let me keep that in my mind. Right? When I got there, they acted like I was shit. And I said, man, I ain't gonna put up with this. I never put up with shit on anybody. That gets back to my father's old school. I'm not going to say that today. So I'm thinking, I'm saying, wait a minute, hold it. Every time I go to class, the teacher pulls out a book. I said, well, hell, I can read a book. I was already going to the library and stuff. Oh, I said, hell, that was in my formal education. Because anything I wanted, I just go get a book. And I was always in libraries. I always studying, buying books. Educate myself on calculus, trigonometry, vector analysis, vector analysis, differential equations, trigonometry, you name it. Physics, nuclear physics, right? See? All kinds of physics, gravity, the whole thing, forces. Educate myself on all of that. See? So I had to pay everybody a dime. And I've been sitting around for 72 years, just scratch my ass. I'm always studying. Okay? So I said, hell with that. So I got away from all that, right? I went to the military, right? I didn't finish the first year of high school. So I went to the military, and I was thinking about going to officer candidate school, because I didn't know about Nate Fislam before that. I would never went anywhere near that place, right? So I wanted to be an officer. They told me I needed a high school education. So I took GED. They told me I had to go to school. I said, hell, I tested out on it. I did so well that New Jersey gave me a honorary, and I was only 17 at the time, right? Honorary high school diploma, which you normally couldn't get to you 21 anyway. I did so well on it. They gave it to me. So I had 17 years old. I had a high school diploma. I had my GED. Right? And they beat me out. They tricked me out. I was all still together, right? And I kept on studying. I taught myself college, I taught myself mathematics, everything else. Right? But let me get back to Miss Landau. When I was in 8th grade, see, I told you I was a top student in class. Mathematics, everything. I was a top student. Integrated school in Newark. I was going to Waverly Avenue School. No, not Waverly, 14th Avenue. 14th Avenue School. Right? Because my mother had passed, we moved up to, no, that's not right. That's not right. No, this is right. I was 14th Avenue School, right? Because it was Waverly Avenue School and my mother passed 14th Avenue School. I finished my last 2 or 3 years there, was on Fairmont Avenue, right around the corner from Table 25 on Fairmont Avenue, right? That's another story again. My father was processed. I didn't know it anyway. So my last, she has this teacher named Miss Landau. She had a brace on her leg. It's a Jew. I was top of the class, remember? So one day, during lunchtime, right, we out in the playground playing. And we used to play handball and stuff, right? So I had the ball I left in my desk. So I ran back upstairs to get it. And I'm going to class, all the white kids in the class during lunchtime. And I look on the board, and all this on the board is all these mathematics with letters in it. Numbers and letters mixed together. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I said, what's that? And she raised the board real quick. Oh, that's nothing. All the white kids in there. Now I didn't find out what that was until I got to high school. She was teaching them algebra. And didn't want me to know I was the best math student she had in the class. You think that shit's still going on? So get back to this thing here, right? The Democratic Party could just explain this. That has not. See, because they try to explain like it has something to do with your performance. Affirmative action has something to do with performance. No, it doesn't. It just gets you in to see if you can perform. But by saying it has to do with your performance, they say, oh, see, you give affirmative action, it means they come out, man, they're going to be a good doctor, they're going to be a good lawyer, you have inferior lawyers, inferior doctors. Bullshit. You still got to take the test, you still got to qualify, you still got to do all that stuff. So if you graduate, you're just as good doctor than anybody else. At least as far as standing concerned, you may be better than the school, than the school's ability to teach you. Remember, the school, they have certain requirements, or you meet those requirements. Now, if you're better than that, that's even better. But you got to meet these requirements to be a doctor, lawyer, whatever. So that means you qualified to be a doctor. You qualified to be a lawyer. Now, if you a genius, that's something else. But it has nothing to do, right, with you getting in or not. Because everybody gets in, don't do that. See? And white folks don't want to compete with you because they know you're smarter. They know they want you to know. And they keep you stupid with NFL, BNFA, eating shillings and everything else. Because they know if they have to compete with you head on, they're going to lose. In every industry that they let you know that you get in, right? That you get in, you beat, even if it's just demons, still beat them. When I was doing my contracting business, I'm not doing it right now. Right? I was an independent contractor. Walk around, I didn't change my name to Jason Nickelbob. Name was Raheem. And I didn't walk around kissing white folks' ass either. I didn't pretend I liked them. And they would say, man, you don't like white people. I'm here to work. I ain't here to all this social stuff. And very good. And even though they never liked me, I always got a perfect reference because I would go in and do things for them. I say AJT, millions of dollars. Because they was bogged up with when the investor came along back, 1980s, when they had to break up AT&T, I was working there at that time as a contractor. And they had to take and all their files, they had to distribute to all these Marbell places, man, and they didn't have the technology at the time to do it. Because this was CICS coming, they need, was it? Anyway, they need an online system. What is CICS? It was, I forget, it's been a long time, I don't think they even use it anymore. Anyway, they didn't have it, and they were bringing people in from India to try to build it. They said it would take 6 months to do it. So it was costing a lot of money because they had government had pressure on them to get these things done, and the files were building up. Billions and billions of amounts of data. Amounts of data was building up, and they had no way to process it. I was going to come to me in a minute, that kind of processing needed. It was the online side of it, right? And I went and told him, I said, well, you know something? You have a technology in-house that could do what you want. You just need some tweaking to it. I went and did it. I showed them. I set it up. Bam, they was able to do that. It was a temporary fix, but was they allowed them to start processing what they weren't able to process, just piling up until they actually got the system, the official system that was designed for that. 6 months ahead of time. That's in the millions of dollars. No matter what it was, they got me the hell out of there. They get extra reference, and the reason why they would never keep me around, but I was successful. I had every time I went to interview, 99 point. I think one interview I went to, I didn't get this job. Every time I went to interviews, I did a contracting job. So every interview I went to, I always got it. I think it's one I missed. Could have been more than one. I always got it because I was excellent interviewer, right? Plus, you say I don't talk well. Well, they thought I did, right? And I had excellent reference, and always made them money. Always made them money. Okay? But they didn't want me around because I made it look bad. I made all the other white folks look bad. Because they hid figures, those sisters made them look bad. So they couldn't have me around like that. And plus, they couldn't have me around claiming a process I gave them as mine. Because, I might want to copyright or something. I'm going to say one more example, and I'll let it go. When I moved to Florida, back in '94, I was working at a place called GTES. And I forgot the project they was working on. But they had a problem where they had to take and edit their files. Is that what I'm saying? Is that correct? No, testing. See, when you get the files, you got to test this stuff, this data, to make sure it's right. After you build your system, you got to test it before you give it out, because you want to make sure if you give somebody, you double test and everything else. But they didn't have a testing tool, so therefore they was doing it manually, which is like forever. Because you got to test. You're trying to test computer data manually. That's like it's worse than like eating rice with a toothpick or something. I don't know. It's worse. It's terrible. You don't want to do it. And actually, I had this situation. No, I'm not going to go all the details. I'm going to leave with this one. And so I told him, I said, no, you have a testing system here. They didn't even know they had a testing system in there. But first of all, they didn't know they had a testing system. So I told them that. Plus, it wasn't really designed to do what they want to do, but I knew how to modify it where it would. And so I went and told the supervisor, no, because they was way behind on their project because it took so long to test. And so I said, look, you have this tool here. Give me a couple of days. I'll bring the tool because nobody knew about it. Those contract. They didn't even know how to use it. They never heard of the tool. See, because I knew IBM products very well. So I said, okay, you got this tool. I got it. I said, give me a couple of days to tweak it. And I tweaked it, right? And then I gave it to them. I taught everybody in the office how to use it. And after about 3 days, right, everybody was using it. They was on schedule by next week. She was so happy because she was from Kansas. That's what she was from. I forgot her name. She was from Kansas, someone from Kansas. Right? She was so happy, boy, because she thought she was going to lose the whole contract, right? Because she was, I think she was a contractor too, working for, because GTES is called Verizon now. I can't remember more details about her. But you know what it was? Again, because I made everybody look bad. See, I'm that nigga, and all these white folks and everything there, and they sit around and the project's about to blow and go bad, and everything's about to lose the project and everything. And I came in and saved her. And she was really happy. I mean, she wanted to take me out lunch and everything else. She was happy about it. But next thing I know, hey, they didn't want to renew me. That's all the case. I will say somebody's last case. I worked all over the country. And I came back, I was working up in Indiana someplace. No, I was working at D.C. And then I came back to Tampa and worked on a job now in Tampa again. And they would contract to another company. And they wouldn't let me come to the contract. So I took it because I wanted to get established in Tampa again. I need the money, right? Because they wouldn't let me work as a contract. They wouldn't let me work as an employee. And another thing, right, during that time, I had hip surgery because my hips was really, I had more hips out. I was about 62 at the time. Right, I had more hips out because I've been running all my life, right? So I came down here and they had seen a problem about testing because they had this big contract with, I think, an insurance company or something. They had a big contract with some company. I forgot what it was. Now, they was contracted. They didn't want me to be a contractor. That's another little story. So I took it, so I kept telling the manager, I says, see, we have a big meeting. And I always spoke up, told them the truth. I didn't care if they didn't like it, then the hell. Right? So I kept telling them, man, you're going to lose this contract, guy, because we need a testing tool here. He didn't want to invest in a testing tool. I said, man, I kept telling him, man, you better, you know? Now, they didn't have a testing tool there, but I told them how they could get one, right? But he didn't want to do it because the problem was he could have did it, and it would have been, it would save a lot of money, but he didn't want to hear from a nigger, and he didn't want to hear it and me telling him in the meeting in front of everybody else, other white boys. Oh, I could tell him he read on that one, right? He read on that one. So he wouldn't do it. So he got mad. He didn't let me go. One day, hey, we don't need you anymore, right? Okay. I found a month later, right? He lost that contract. They threw the ass out of here. I tried to tell him. And that just begs one more story, bro. Since I know I don't waste your time here. I was working in New York. I forgot the name of that company. It's an insurance company. It's not for him or something, I think. The insurance company in New York, right down the World Trade Center before they had the 911. And his guy, Peter Bartholomew, devil, right? And he thought he was so smart. He was a supervisor. I was a contractor here. I was the contractor here. And he kept telling us, right? Let me see if I get this right. He kept telling us he wanted to use this particular software, right? And he didn't want to use others. Oh, we got software A and software B. Then they had software A. And that's what their software B, I put like that. Software B, and they wanted, that's what was used. It was a testing tool, right? And they wanted to use software. Now I knew software A, but he wanted everybody to use stuff. He said, hey man, don't use the A stuff, right? Don't use the A stuff, right? I always use B, right? Because B is the best in town and everything else, right? So I looked at B. And like, he was really an a-hole. He didn't like me at all, because they never do, right? But they respect me, because I was doing a hell of a job for them. So, but I got tired of him always talking this BS. He didn't know what he was talking about. So I looked at B, and I found out that B was really A. It was like B was just, they put a covering over it. They put a covering over it to disguise it, and somebody sold it to him as a pack. Because in other words, okay, I got it straight now. A is something that comes with the systems. That was it. A came with the IBM system. When they installed that program, everything, A came with it. That was part of it. It's like we get a car, right? You get some accessories come with it. This came with the system. But somebody came and told them, here's B, it's a better product that was supposed to do the same thing they did, right? This is B, and you got it. And it sold to like, I think like $5,000 a month, rental or something like there. $10,000 a month. That's how much they pay for the software to rent it over. They rent it or lease it or whatever. About $10,000 a month. He was bragging on it. So I waited one day until we had a big meeting, and his boss showed up. And I hit him. I said, Why don't you use A? Oh no, man, we're gonna go use B because B is a better product and everything. Now remember, he's costing the company $10,000 a month, leasing this stuff. I said, but you got. I said, but B is A. What you mean B ain't no A? What you talking about? I said, B is A. I said, A is free. Come with the system. And I laid it out for him. I said, B is just A. There's put some color on it. That dude, boy, he like to hear like exploded. His boss was looking at him, looking at me. Because I was right. They was paying $5,000, $10,000 a month and they didn't even need. In fact, A was better than B was anyway. Because B had a lot of problems because it was cumbersome because it had some colors. You see what I'm saying? So every time, we always beat them. That's why I don't want you in here. That's what affirmative action is trying to get you in the door. So what you got to do, then you have to perform. But they're trying to say, no, you wouldn't perform any well. That's why you shouldn't even be in to begin with. So in other words, when you get in there, if you get a 10 on your test, they will give you extra 30 points. That's how it works? No. You get 10 tests, you fail. You pass or fail. Understand? Hope I made it clear. I'm leaving it alone, bro. Says, I mean, oh, wow. I mean, just keep 10, 15 minutes, right? I can keep telling you stories, my life. But you understand what I'm saying? Hope you understand what I said here. I hope it made it clear enough. You need to think these things through because these are concepts. This quality pressure I keep trying to talk to you about. I talk about general pressure, quality pressure. These little tricks they use. And the argument they're saying is a lie. And the people that's supposed to be supporting you for fighting for you, the Democrats probably fighting your side in court because they decide in this case the Supreme Court, and you look at their arguments, and they're not saying they got the gun to the wolf's head and won't pull the trigger. All they got to do is say, that ain't got nothing to do with your performance. If you can't perform, you can't graduate. They don't say that. That's simple. That kills the whole argument. They don't say that. Oh no. Because they know it. Because they don't want you to have further, they don't want you to compete either. But they be friends. They got a 10, they fight your cause. See, we fought, we lost. We fought, and we lost. No, you didn't fight. You had the gun to the wolf's head, but you didn't pull the trigger. Like that so-called wrestling crap. It looks like it's real, but it ain't. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I try to explain these concepts to you, all their tricks, and they get away with it. Because you hear some NFLs, NBA, shitlins, Beyonce, and all this bullshit, which is going to get you ready for dinner. And you're not going to be one of the diners. When dinner time, you're not going to be one of the diners. You're going to be on the menu. You think that's a joke? I hope you don't find out that it's not. Hope you don't find out it's not, brothers and sisters. I'm here for you. I'm not here against you. I'm here to get rid of these demons. I'm trying to save your life, brothers. I'm going to ask for a dime. I'm going to ask for anything. I ain't ask you to kiss my feet or do anything. I'm just your brother. I'm here to help you. I'm most definitely here to help these sisters. They deserve our help. Well, I thought you helped nobody. I'm help them. I don't give a damn what anybody say about that one. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'm going to leave it there. Hope you got the understanding. I want to keep this 15 minutes, but I'm way over 15 minutes, I think. I'm sure of that. Let's see what we got here. Okay. That one. And